In the invisible world above the clouds, power isn't measured by speed or firepower. It's measured by what cannot be seen. When America unveiled the first stealth fighter, the world stood in awe. But one man in the Kremlin saw it differently. He saw a challenge, a threat, and a mystery to be solved. This is the story of how Russia tried to steal the shadows of the sky, and why it never succeeded. In the 1980s, the world's most powerful air forces were locked in a silent race, not for bigger weapons, but for invisibility itself. The United States had done the impossible. It created an aircraft that radar could barely detect. It was called the F-117 Nighthawk, and later, its successor, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. These machines were not just planes, they were ghosts. Their shape, their skin, their very presence in the sky was a secret born from physics, mathematics, and billions of dollars in research. And to the Soviet Union, it was a nightmare. The American Revolution in the air. In 1981, when the F-117 took its first secret flight in Nevada, even U.S. allies didn't know it existed. By 1991, during the Gulf War, it was the star of the battlefield. Flying undetected over Baghdad, it destroyed targets with surgical precision, while enemy radar saw nothing but silence. For the Soviet Union, this was more terrifying than any nuclear bomb. Because stealth meant the end of balance. If America could strike anywhere, anytime, unseen, the Soviet military was no longer safe. Operation Shadow Chase. Behind the Iron Curtain, Soviet intelligence scrambled to understand what America had done. Spy satellites photographed strange black shapes at Groom Lake, Nevada, what would later be called Area 51. Agents collected rumors, pilots whispered of radar ghosts, and engineers pored over every scrap of data they could steal. Moscow launched a top-secret effort to build a stealth aircraft of their own. It was the birth of Project Mikoyan 1.42, a Soviet answer to the American F-22 Raptor that would come later. The MiG-1.44, the shadow that never flew. Design work began in the late 1980s. The goal? An advanced stealth fighter capable of supercruise, radar evasion, and extreme agility. On paper, it was revolutionary, but reality was merciless. The Soviet Union was collapsing. Money vanished, factories stopped, and the project stalled for years. When the prototype, the MiG-1.44, finally rolled out in 1999, nearly 10 years late, the world had changed. The Cold War was over. And the plane that was meant to rival America's stealth technology wasn't even stealthy. Its surfaces reflected radar. Its engines glowed like beacons on infrared sensors. And its radar cross-section was far larger than the F-22. It was powerful, but not invisible. The MiG-1.44 was a dream built too late. It never entered production. The Sukhoi Gamble, the Su-57 Felon. Years later, Russia tried again. In the 2000s, the Sukhoi Design Bureau began work on what they called the PAK FA, or Su-57 Felon. This would be their fifth-generation stealth fighter, the rival to America's F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. At first glance, it looked promising. Sleek lines, internal weapons bays, and radar-absorbent paint. But appearances deceive. Western radar tests, leaked assessments, and even Russian engineers have admitted that the Su-57 is not truly stealth. Its engines are exposed, its radar cross-section is larger than that of an F-35, and its stealth coating is fragile and inconsistent. In short, it's a partial stealth fighter, not a true one. Even now, fewer than 20 operational Su-57s exist, and their combat record remains limited. Meanwhile, the United States fields hundreds of F-35s and dozens of F-22s, dominating the invisible war of the skies. Why Russia couldn't catch up? Stealth isn't a single technology. It's a combination of mathematics, material science, and invisible perfection. It requires supercomputers to shape radar reflections, nanotechnology to coat surfaces, and production precision down to the millimeter. The Soviet and later Russian aerospace industries had brilliance in aerodynamics and speed, but they lacked the funding, computing power, and manufacturing precision of the American military-industrial complex. While America perfected invisibility, Russia tried to imitate what it could not fully understand. The result was impressive aircraft, but not ghosts. Legacy of the Shadows. The dream of true stealth remains the holy grail of air power. And while Russia's Su-57 looks dangerous on paper, its radar signature still glows brighter than the American Raptors it was meant to hunt. Stealth is not about what you see, it's about what you don't see. And in that invisible war, the United States still flies unseen. In every age, empires chase ghosts. The Soviet Union chased the shadow of the B-29. Decades later, Russia chased the shadow of the F-117 and F-22. But some secrets aren't built, they're earned. And the art of invisibility still belongs to those who mastered the silence of the sky.